Hey friends, welcome to Zoom and Zoomies, the show where two lesbians, three cats, and one dog decided that living in a camper full-time sounded like a great idea.
We're sharing the real behind the scenes of remote work, road trips, and all the chaos that comes with trading square footage for more freedom.
I'm Britt, and I made money in Vegas a few weekends ago, and I forgot to share that on here, and I think that is important to share.
You just wanted to humble brag, didn't you?
Yeah, just a little bit. I took $200 and turned it into $265, so...
Big baller here.
Slow and steady wins the race.
And I'm V, and I am really super excited to have some cooler weather, and for the first time in my life, like ever, I'm going to be living in an area where we actually have seasons, because I come from Louisiana, where the modes are hot and humid, cold and humid, or just wet.
It's true.
I experienced the record snowfall once.
That was wild, and I wasn't even in Louisiana last year when that happened.
It hurt a little bit that you weren't there.
I can't believe it, but I'm happy you got it because I feel like I got to experience snow in other places in my life, and so I think you needed that.
In Louisiana, I think that was something special before I moved out of Louisiana.
Yeah.
And honestly, even though you've lived everywhere, it was exciting to leave Louisiana. I think I'm more excited about the seasons than you are.
Yeah, you definitely are. I get cold very easily, so while everyone's like, I hate the weather in Louisiana, there were definitely some days I hated it, but most days I was like, yeah, it's really nice that this is like the cold winter and it's like the upper 50s is like our low. And even still, you really only have like a month of days where it's below 60 degrees. I love that.
Whereas me, I run hot always. Like, if it's a certain degree, I will always be sweating. It is a problem. So I'm excited to be in cooler weather.
You know, I think it's going to be adjustments for me, but I think I can make it. I'm excited for it. So yeah, every week we'll bring you stories, tips, and probably a few freakouts as we figure out camper life and changing seasons, one mistake at a time.
In each episode, we'll have a couple of exciting mini segments and also address a specific topic. Today we're going to be talking about meals and the camper, but of course, let's first kick off our first segment of what TikTok did not tell us.
What did TikTok not tell us?
This was something discovered right away. I don't know if it's all campers or just, in our situation, but the smoke detectors in campers are very, very sensitive.
So sensitive. And I know this is true of some other campers. I don't know that it is of all, but I swear ours is like the most sensitive I've seen. If you are cooking, if you are showering, if you are thinking about showering or cooking, it's going to start beeping and yelling at you. I hate the sound of smoke detectors. I'm sure I would appreciate it if it was saving my life in the middle of the night, but I hate the sound. It's literally like so triggering to me, that like annoying beeping. It freaks me out, freaks the animals out.
She visibly cringes and freezes for a second when it goes off, and I've accidentally set it off. I try to do everything. We open the windows, we have the vent open, whatever we discovered it was a shower thing, I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, that was new. So it's basically, or that was a newer one. It took us a second, but basically if you open up the shower door too quickly and it's too steamy in there, the smoke detector's right next to that. So in hindsight, it kind of makes sense, but also it's just yeah, you go, we close that door quick now.
I made toast and it set it off.
Yeah. Our hack though that we found is that if you put a plastic bag over it, like a grocery bag, and kind of tie it around it, it actually, prevents that most of the time. Although we did have it happen the other day, but I think maybe we didn't have it sealed very well. But
there's a chance that bag also might have had a couple holes in it.
Yeah, that's
Kitties.
True. Looking at you, cats. So we do that, and that works pretty well. The only con is we have to remember to take it down. Otherwise, it defeats the point of having a smoke detector. And so, every now and then I'll be laying in bed and see it still up there and be like, oh, we should take that down because I do want to wake up if it smells smoke tonight.
I am the worst offender of that. I do apologize. A trick for that is if your smoke detector or your ceiling is white, have a different color, because then you're going to be
It'll be more obvious, yeah.
More.
Yeah.
So I've tried to use either a brown or a black one, because then I'll be like, oh, I need to take that down now.
Yeah. We've also thought about, not that we ever over-engineer things, but we've also thought about maybe figuring out some sort of little cover that we can, just a fabric-y cover we can put over it that we hang nearby, on a hook, it just makes it a little easier to remember. So anyways, that's one thing TikTok didn't tell us.
It would have been nice to know.
It would have been nice to know.
But now we're telling you.
Yeah, now we're telling you. And we've actually got a bonus TikTok didn't tell us.
Do you want to share this story? Because this was your idea.
This was my idea. So I got a deli pizza from Walmart the other night, and I somehow ordered the extra large version.
This was supposed to be our dinner.
Yeah, this was supposed to be dinner, and it wasn't going to fit in the oven, and V was like, we could just cut off part of it. And I was like, or we could put it on the Blackstone. Because we contemplated before, can we cook a pizza on the Blackstone? And we love our Blackstones. We were like, sure, yeah, let's try it. And it fit perfectly. It fit, and like, it just like slid right onto it nicely. It was great. And we set it on, and I set a timer for like 8 minutes because I was like, we'll come check on it then and see where it's going. 5 minutes in, I see V looking out the window because we're sitting inside the camper.
And I see like the smoke, like it looks like something's almost burning.
And she was like, is it supposed to be smoking like that? I don't think so. I'm going to go check on it. And I was like, yeah, that probably can't be good. And so we go out there, and the bottom is just absolute crisp, like completely black. The top's not even cooked yet. And the bottom is just like, not even
it's
like
inedible.
You could scrape some of it. Yeah, it's inedible. And so that was a failed experiment.
I just stared at it for a second. I was like, why did we not think of this?
Watch our Instagram and TikToks. I made, and YouTube, I made a video of this whole experience so you can actually get visuals of this. So just head to our YouTube channel, our TikTok, Instagram, and you'll see the Blackstone debacle. But anyways, TikTok did not tell us one does not simply throw a pizza on a Blackstone.
We need a pizza stone.
Yeah, so we'll work on getting some more tooling for that. We'll also work on cutting it and just making it work. So,
in our oven.
Yeah, exactly. But on to things that we are doing successfully. Let's move on to our Zoomies Tip Jar.
I think you can take this one.
Yeah, I wrote this one down because this was actually really relevant for me today, and also it's relevant to meals and cooking in campers. So we have these things called Mopeka tank monitors, and they're for our propane tanks, which if you're in a camper, you use that for a lot of stuff. Like pretty much every camper I know of comes with propane tanks, and so we also have an extra one that we have because we use it for so many things. But things like our hot water heater, our stove, our furnace, all sorts of things are running off of this, off of propane. And so it's pretty important to have propane, especially in the winter. But even not in the winter, some people have fridges that run off of it. And so we have hot water. And so there's different things that we would need our propane for anyways. But even aside from that, things like our fire pit outside, our Blackstone, lots of things are using propane, so it's important to have propane on hand and know when you're getting close to running out of it and needing to refill it. And everybody has hacks online for pouring boiling water over it, or just watching where it's cold and hot when you're cooking with it and things like that. Or maybe not hot, but just cold and not cold. But none of that's ever felt scientific enough for me. So I found these things called tank monitors. They're by Mopeka. I'll include links to this in the description, and I'll add some pictures on YouTube here if you're watching. But they're
over my face?
It's in between our faces. But they're basically these little magnets that you put on the bottom of a tank, and they use sonar to tell you how much is in it. And so,
oh, clever.
Yeah, so I can just literally check from my phone and tell.
So that's how you were able to the other night.
Yeah, that's how I knew. Last night when V was cooking and I smelled a little bit of propane, I was like, that smells weird. And V was like, I think the light might be going out. I'm like, is there a chance the tanks are low? And I was like, well, let me look. And I looked, and sure enough, it said that it was down to less than 19% or something like that. And so, which is really cool because we filled those two tanks up, our onboard ones, we filled those up last Thanksgiving. And so the fact we just went through one, that's how long it took us to go through one. Now we do have another tank, a separate tank that I use for when I'm running the generator, or for when I'm running the fire pit or the propane, the Blackstone. So that one we use more frequently, and we filled up, I've exchanged that tank several times throughout the year. But yeah, for our onboard ones that uses our hot water, for our furnace, all that sort of stuff, we've only used one tank in almost a year.
Awesome.
And we have two on board. So I'm interested to see how that changes in the winter. I think when we're running the heat a lot,
Who says we're running the heat?
When it's minus 30, well, it's not going to get minus 32. When it's below 50 degrees, I'm running heat, I'll tell you that. So V's not sure about that. So anyways,
I'll go hang out outside.
Yeah, you go sit outside, and I'll sit inside and enjoy the cool. We'll flip-flop, in the summers where you like to sit inside with the AC and I sit outside in the heat. We'll flip-flop. You'll go sit outside in the cold, and I'll sit inside in the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've also got a little space heater, or fireplace.
Aren't we a match made in heaven?
Yeah. So anyways, so check out Mopeka tank monitors. Even if you're not a camper, but you have grills or different things that use propane, it's so handy. So you can literally just see on your phone how full your tanks are. Here, I'll actually show this on the YouTube.
Which means you should just be following our YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you're not watching on YouTube, you should. But you can see here in the video that this is my app, and it literally shows me my 2 tanks and how full they are, when they last updated. So it's really handy. I'm actually about to get another one for the little 20-pound tank that we use for the stuff outside. So just because it's so nice to know, and I can get stuff filled out before we're sitting inside and we're like, oh, propane's low and we're cold. All right, so now moving on to our main topic. We're going to talk about what does cooking and eating meals look like in the camper.
Not very different than just at home.
Yeah, that's kind of the TLDR of it, is that we're pretty lucky. And of course, you could ask 1,000 people this and everybody's going to have different answers and different setups for what it looks like. Our camper has a kitchen in it. So we have a stove and an oven. That was actually V's requirements. She didn't have a lot for when we were picking out campers. Literally, her only thing was it needs to have an oven, which is not hard to find, but also not easy. Like, it's not a guarantee in every camper.
Yeah, and, well, I think for us, hold on, we have a special guest. Hi, baby.
Lilo's joining.
It also kind of depends on, like, what kind of layout you want.
Yeah, it depends on the layout, and especially, like, for a while we were on the fence about, do we want drivable ones, like motorhomes, or do we want, like, what we got, which is, like, a pull behind, and in the motorhomes especially, it's very hard to find an oven, but it's a little more common in here. But the layout we wanted was, I wanted a kitchen, but I didn't want the kitchen and the dining room to feel like one big room, so they're kind of like, I like in ours, it's a little bit more sectioned off.
It's like a clear designation of the area.
So anyways, we were picky about the layout. Like, we had desires of how we wanted things to look, and getting an oven with it. And so we do have a stovetop. We have an oven.
We have a microwave.
We have a microwave.
We brought our air fryer.
Yeah. So you have, those sort of appliances. The biggest thing that's changed is that my parents got us a Blackstone. And we are all about the Blackstone life. Yeah, V loves it. She's great with it. I think I understand roughly how to cook on it, sort of. But, yeah.
I've kind of taken point on cooking on the Blackstone and cleaning it and seasoning it.
Yes, and in theory, I think I could cook things on it and I could kind of follow instructions. But yeah, she's the pro of it. And yeah, the only con is when it's really hot outside.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Because the Blackstone, obviously, is a Blackstone grill that uses propane. It's going to get hot. And when it's very hot outside, it gets you. I think one time, our trip with Allie, I felt like I nearly overheated.
Yeah.
That's why I did not go to the beach with y'all.
Yeah. It gets very hot outside, and
but I'm excited about it for the winter.
Yeah, it's going to be great for the winter. It's going to be, it's a very fast, efficient way to cook things. I feel like they taste great. It also, like, works pretty quickly. There's also, like, a whole culture around, like, specific recipes and stuff for it. So we found a lot of different, like...
Fun tip. If you're going to cook fish on it, lay it in foil. Do not put it directly on the Blackstone. It overcooks. We did that with the salmon.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot about that.
We accidentally overcooked salmon, but I read if you put it in foil...
Yeah.
It kind of it takes the edge off the heat with the salmon and cooks a little bit more evenly. So, fun fact for y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, I think that's where cooking is, pretty similar, but you can also have Blackstones at home, so even if you're not into camper life and you're like, what is this Blackstone you speak of? It's literally like, a griddle, and you can have it at home. You don't have to be a camper to have it. We don't gatekeep.
No, actually, the first time, fun story for y'all, whenever we seasoned the Blackstone, we did it in our condo when we were still living in Louisiana.
Yeah, we actually had it there.
And we had friends over, and after we seasoned it, it was, like, perfect. And so
we're like, should we try it out?
He was like, should we cook on it? And it happened to be, I think, the Super Bowl that year.
Mm-hmm.
And so we hurried up and ran, and we just got burger stuff at I Meat Smash Burgers.
So good. So yeah, we really enjoy cooking on that. You also have a really good, like, breakfast hash. I'll share the recipe for that in the show notes, but the breakfast
Brittany
hash...
found the breakfast hash recipe, but it is one of our favorite things.
It's so good.
And you actually don't even have to, you don't need a Blackstone. If you just have, like, a pot or a cast iron, we found we can make it at home.
Yeah. I'll share that recipe if you don't have it, but and now since we've started making it though with the camper, I don't know that we've ever made it not in the camper, but I feel like if I made it at home, it would, like, remind me of the camper. Like, I feel like it's gonna be one of those, like, core meals for us that even, like, after camper life, it's just gonna, like, take us back to that season.
Yeah, and it is a big hit. I made it for your parents. And they loved it.
Oh yeah, it's so good, so good. So yeah, it's basically like hash browns and, like, bacon and eggs, but in, like, a bowl. It's so good. So Blackstone, we very much recommend. That's probably been the biggest shift in cooking and meals for us.
But really, that just expands our cooking.
Yeah, it expands it. It just gives us another option. And again, it's an option you can have at home too. I'm a little bit scared of the stove and oven. I don't know if I've ever told you that.
I think you've mentioned, especially with the gas and when you smelled the propane.
Yeah,
the other night.
I got so paranoid. But I was like, well, we haven't blown up, so I assume it's not a leak. And I realized, like, well, no, I meant, like, it's not a leak like the other night.
Well, I'm just
when
knocking on wood
yeah.
because...
I'm very nervous about a propane leak and accidentally, like, blowing up the camper when we try to light the stove or the oven.
Here's the thing about the oven. It doesn't... You gotta, like, turn on the propane.
You gotta ignite it. If you've ever worked with, like, something with, like, natural gas or, like, propane, like, and, like, thankfully we don't have to, like, stick a lighter inside the oven. I know some people do, and that would be really annoying. But we have to, like, click this thing on the oven to, like,
and sometimes it'll take me a little while, like a couple minutes to get it all lit up. You have to have a little bit of patience for it.
Yeah.
The oven. The stovetop, though, it lights up.
Stovetop lights right away, yeah. So, but no, and I mean, I'm not, like, so scared of it that I don't use it. And, you know, we thankfully, like, that's one of the nice things is, like, propane. I don't know if you knew this. Propane doesn't naturally have an odor, but they put the stuff in it.
That way you can tell.
Yeah, so that way if there is a leak, you can smell.
They also mentioned that in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh,
Remember the rotten eggs?
Oh, yes. No, you're right. They do. They do. I forgot they talked about it there, so you already knew this. That's why they put the
well, I knew that in general.
Oh, okay,
and they mentioned it in Friends. The pizza, whenever Ross kept ordering pizza. And you just would not stop talking about gas?
If you're not watching Friends or Avatar and didn't know that, that's a fun fact, though. So, basically, yeah. So, anyways, I don't think I always have the best sniffer. Actually, was very reassured last night while we were cooking. Usually, like, sometimes you'll smell it, like, after you've already lit the flame and, like, while it's, like, doing stuff. And I think that's less of a concern because, like, the flame is already lit and it's, like, propane's coming through the line. So, that's probably why. But, anyways, if you ever smell that and you're
Nothing's lit.
Nothing's lit. Yeah, don't light because it could mean that there's a leak or something. So, anyways, I'm not, like, that scared of it, but I'm a little scared of it.
You're not a hypochondriac at all.
No, not at all. I've never been known to worry about things. Something else I want to chat about. What are the pros and cons of a smaller kitchen? I know for me, I kind of like the smaller kitchen aspect because, especially the way ours is shaped, it's like kind of like a U. So imagine like you walk in and to your left is a counter and in front of you is the sink and to the right is your stove and your oven, and then above that is your microwave, and then directly to your back is your fridge. And like you can basically, and the pantry is kind of just to the right of the fridge. So like imagine you're not running back and forth around a kitchen to cook, which is kind of nice. Like your cabinets are near you, everything's close.
I think the small space, because not to say I'm a better cook than you, I sometimes cook like more elaborate meals than you.
Yeah, you probably need more space than I do.
So like there's a lot more prep work or like just multiple things going on. So space can sometimes be an issue, and also the counter space is is often where we feed the cats.
Yeah.
That's also another obstacle. Now, the running around, I get, like, the small space does make it easier to access everything. However, when it comes to the Blackstone, because it's outside, yeah, I'm constantly running in and out sometimes.
Yeah, that's
if I
true.
don't think ahead, I'd be like, oh, I also need this. Oh, I also need this.
Yeah.
So that is something that I'm getting used to.
Yeah.
Luckily, my darling here got me a very fancy, was it for my birthday or for Christmas?
Which thing?
The table.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, it was your birthday. I remember now.
Okay, she got me a table for the Blackstone, but it also holds almost all of the tools I need, like the spatulas, the tongs. It has a little shelf to hold the spices or like oils, anything like that.
It's like a nice outdoor one too, so it's like weather resistant and stuff. So
yeah.
And it's like robust, so we could put the Blackstone on it if we didn't want to put it on like a picnic table or something.
Yeah, and that's been helpful. But like obviously, like refrigerated things, I'm going in and out of the camper to do that.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of an obstacle, but like it's not a deal breaker for me. I love the Blackstone, but that is something you need to consider when cooking in the camper.
And we do have an outdoor fridge, but honestly, like we don't always remember to put stuff in it, and so it's like either way we're coming in and out, especially if we've done like the prep inside and put it in the inside fridge. So like so we're still figuring those bits out, and it's one idea I had. A lot of campers will let you extend counter space by they'll have these little like flaps that almost like an extendable counter you can add on the counter. I wonder if we could come up with some sort of makeshift solution for that, for like the one, it would maybe get in the way when you're using the Blackstone and going in and out of the door, but if it could extend past like that one counter over there that goes to the door, it'd be kind of cool if we could set like almost a table or something up.
Maybe, but we also have cats that like to hop on everything.
True, but I'm just saying while you're cooking, not long term. Like, it could
Well,
fold up or down.
fortunately, even though I've managed well, like, I don't feel like we've been limited in the meals that I make.
Yeah, no,
So,
I agree.
Don't overthink and engineer things.
I've never done that one time before in my entire life. So, yeah, so that's pretty cool. Is there anything, I guess you kind of chatted about this, but is there anything that you miss from a kitchen in a big home? Since you're more of the cooker than me, like, and always have been.
I mean, maybe space. I mean, I don't even know if this is an inconvenience because we still have our crock pot slow cooker. We still have our air fryer. It's just put up. And our blender. Yeah. It's just put up. So if we ever want to use it, we have to constantly play the up and down. And maybe like storage space because some of the pots and pans are in their little shelf thing and it's a bit of a struggle to get them down. But again, not the biggest deal.
Yeah, it all works, but I mean, yeah, you're always going to have trade-offs, I think, when you're...
But it is a small space, and the term too many cooks in the kitchen definitely applies.
Yeah.
So, like, we just have to be a little bit more mindful about, you know, all right, I'm doing this. If you're doing this, do it now or do it after I do this.
Yeah, which, again, it comes back to a lot of communication. So I think, like, that makes sense. And honestly, I kind of like that because sometimes I feel like if someone is cooking, I have to help, and, like... You literally can't. You just kind of have to resume to like, okay, I guess I will be in charge of cleanup, like, because there's not really room for us to both be hovering over each other.
But I feel like that was like the case even in our old home.
Yeah. I mean, that's what well, and that's what I'm saying. In our old home where we had more space, sometimes I like feel like, oh, someone is cooking. I should be helping to cook. But
I often kicked her out of my kitchen.
Yeah, and I just like hover and get in the way. Now it's just like, okay, well, I don't even feel that guilt because like literally I know I'm going to be more in the way. So, yeah. So that's kind of in terms of like cooking meals. In terms of eating meals, I think absolutely zero has changed.
No, so I know a lot of people like to have like a proper dining table. We never did.
Yeah, we're like, even when we were in a house, I didn't actually have a proper dining table.
We had a really cool coffee table that the top extended up.
Yeah. To kind of be like, if you're listening, it kind of basically imagine if your coffee table came up and towards you if you're sitting on the couch.
Yeah, with like that spring extender thing.
Yeah.
So like, but we didn't even use that just for eating. We used it for like working on our computer, or I used it for writing a lot. But anyways, so we don't miss that aspect. We have like these TV tray things.
Yeah. We
works.
have TV tray things that like little foldable things that we can put in front of us, but also we half the time eat on the couch without that and just like, you know,
and that's
use
fine. And
the
like
plate.
that is to say, our camper did come with a dining table.
So we could have had one in our camper, but we took it out and it's currently sitting in storage if we ever want it back, because I put my desk here because again, we don't really use dining room tables, and
a workspace for her was more important than a dining table we probably wasn't going to use.
Yeah, and if we really wanted to, we could use this desk as like a bar, like dining room table as well. Like I've got a lot of stuff on it right now, but it's not like I'd have to go to storage to get a table if we wanted a table.
Yeah,
like,
no.
We could just move this off if we really did want to.
And like if it ever came down to it, with most campgrounds, if not all of them, they come with a picnic table.
That's probably another reason I've decided it too, is like if we are going to do a sit down proper like eat, like I've never been to a single campground that doesn't have a picnic table outside. Some of them are better than others, but they all have tables outside. So, and a lot of them even have common areas too. Like this campground we're at now, they have like a grilling area and like some tables around there. So like if we had like a group of friends over or something and we didn't want to sit around our table, we could go sit at that. So
yeah,
plenty of options for that. The only thing I'm realizing that's kind of different about eating is that we have different plates. We don't have glass plates, which I think we are about at the point we could change that. We probably could get some.
Okay, but from like a logistics standpoint, from like we're living in a camper, we have like, I don't know if plastics are right. They're robust.
Yeah, they're really robust. They're like really robust camper plates. So they're technically plastic, but they don't feel like cheap and flimsy. So they do the job and they're totally nice. But sometimes I do miss like
a
real plate. Yeah. And for the longest time we didn't do that because you're traveling so much. You want to kind of limit how much glass you have and things.
And with
that can
driving
break.
in a bumpy roads, you just don't want to have to like open a cabinet and deal with broken ceramics.
Right. But at the same time, I feel like we've figured out enough hacks for like we have like actual glasses, like drinking glasses in there and coffee mugs now.
Ceramic mugs.
Yeah, exactly. So like I think we're at the point that like, you know, adding like 4 glass plates isn't gonna be the thing that, you know.
Probably not, but it's just I think my concern is just in terms of storing it, we might have to just like lay towels or something.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Lay like something on top of them when we stack them. Yeah. So
that wasn't something I wanted to experiment right away.
Right.
Just be mindful of that with your dishware.
Yeah, and we didn't experiment with like glasses and stuff and coffee mugs at the start either. Like it was all very much like the metal ones or the like plastic and stuff. So we're easing our way up, and I could see the like, plates coming up next. But so yeah, so that's really what it's like. It's pretty similar, and we enjoy eating. I don't feel like I've had to make any sort of changes. Like V mentioned, we have the air fryer, we have the crock pot, all of those same things that we do. And
we're not limited at all.
We're not limited at all, and I didn't like setting those things out on the counter in our old home just because I like having cleared off counters. So even though we have to like climb to get them out here, we kind of would have to like go get them in different stuff at home too. So.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like it's not that different. It just might be a little harder because we're just short.
We are.
I'll
short.
say it. We're short.
We're short, so we
the
have a
upper
step stool.
cabinet space is a little difficult.
Yeah. All right, so that is meals in the camper, and now we're time to move on to our segment, the Pet Drama Report.
You want to share with them the most recent development?
Yes. So Levi has almost completely chewed up my slipper, like my little house slipper. This is a new thing. Levi is not. He's a chewer with his own toys. He will destroy his toys. He's really good about not like taking my things or like me or V's things and like destroying
he used to never
human
chew.
things.
Well, he doesn't chew like pillows, bedding.
Yeah, like he's totally fine with any of that. His recent obsession though is that like, and I guess this isn't new, the like being more aggressive with it is new. But whenever he gets like really anxious or really excited, it could be either way. So like we've left or like we just came back home. He cannot handle himself. And so he will grab one of our shoes. And usually it's like one of our slides or like my house slipper and just like runs around with it. And I think it's after we leave is when he chews on it. And I think it's just like become like a coping thing for him where he's just like, I miss them, and like I like this
probably smells like them.
It smells like them. So yeah, so anyways, and he's not super aggressive with it even now, but clearly he's a little aggressive with it.
I think I've hid my slippers now to where he can't access them.
I think yours would be harder for him to chew up too, though. The way yours are, they don't have the like fuzzies on the side, so
But they have it on the inside. I feel like he might,
yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the Pet Drama Report. Is Levi is becoming a little bit of a slipper chewer. We'll keep you updated on how this progresses.
He's also laying down like without a care in the world. Like who, me?
And so now for our last segment, our random question of the week.
So I have to ask you, Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
If you could only have one appliance for warming or cooking meals, and like ever, not just in the camper, what would you choose? Would you choose like an air fryer, the oven, the stovetop, a microwave, a grill?
Ooh, a crock pot. Crock pot could be a good one too. I'd kind of not really
everything
thought
would
about
be like a wet meal.
True. For me, I think I would choose the stovetop. Because I feel like it fits my personality. It's like compact, it's portable. You can get like portable ones, but also like assuming we were in the camper, we just have like, or at home, like it's simple, it's right there. And you can do a variety of things with it. And it works with all sorts of like different pots and skillets and like configurations. So you can like steam things in them, you can boil them. So it feels like versatile and also like simple enough to not be like so versatile. Like I feel like an Instapot is like too complicated. Like it's probably similar in the sense of that.
I think we had an Instapot and then we just realized we didn't use it.
Yeah, exactly. We had one and we were like, it's just too much. Like I don't know a scenario in which this is better than my stovetop or a crock pot. So yeah, I would choose the stovetop, I think. What about you?
So I toggled. At first, my immediate thought was air fryer. I was like, no, you can't cook everything in an air fryer. And then I was like, well, what about the Blackstone? And for the reasons I mentioned before, like going in and out of like the camper if you don't have everything, and then it gets very hot, and I'm getting flashbacks to overheating. So I think I also will do the stovetop.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, right? The stovetop feels like the obvious one there. Like I was on the fence too with air fryer because I feel like that's like pretty close, and I feel like Lane would say microwave. If Lane were here, I feel like he'd say microwave.
Well, Lane
he also doesn't cook. Right.
But like, fun fact for you, my mom heats up her pizza on the stovetop.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ooh, maybe we need to ask her how she does. See, that's what I was going to... Well, I guess that could work kind of better than a Blackstone situation.
Yeah. But you know me, I love my breakfast, and I use the stovetop almost every day.
It's true. Yeah.
With the fun pan.
With the fun pan, which we talked about in previous episodes, but yeah, in case you missed it, we have this really fun pan for the stovetop that has basically like compartments and sections, and so you can have like eggs in one section and toast in another and sausage in another, and like they all cook over one eye, but they're not like touching. So
it's really fun. I love it so much.
Yeah. All right, friends, that's it for this week's episode of Zoom and Zoomies. Next week, we're talking about relationships in the camper and how we as humans get along sharing the same 35 feet 24/7.
We haven't killed each other yet. But if you've got any questions or topic ideas or just want to say hi, send us an email at zoomandzoomies@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.
And you can follow our chaos on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Just go to linktr.ee/zoomandzoomies for all the links.
And if you liked hanging out with us today, it would mean the world to us if you would leave a rating wherever you listen to podcasts and hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. It really helps other people find us and join in all of our adventures.
Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time with more Zoomies.